I see a bedroom in your house. I can see a portrait on a wall, somewhere.
Yes, there is. You are really good.
I see a small creature, running around. Do you own a pet?
Wow, yes I do.
I'm looking into your future. You are going to face some difficulties, but you will come out stronger.
How did the fortune teller guess all that correctly? Can people really predict the future? What does science say about it? Do you want to know? Then watch this video. Funny to say. Believe it or not, the psychic, or fortune teller, uses a bit of science. Let me explain. Predicting the future is not really predicting the future. We are just hoping that pattern in the past. Repeat. That's what fortune tellers use. It is all about seeing patterns in the past, and then building a prediction based on those patterns. And from the science perspective, that is what forecasting is all about. Take the fortune teller, for example. She sees patterns in her everyday life from the conversations she has with clients and people she meets. She remembers how many of her clients or friends have pets, and realizes that lots of them do. She might even do a Google search to realize that 2/3 of Americans, and probably more, own pets. So her prediction is backed by the patterns she sees. She goes on to tell her client of a portrait in his home. Statistically speaking, most people hang portraits on their walls. Probably, she had mentioned this to her clients beforehand, and the responses were positive. Again, patterns in the past help her predict the future. However, what happens if the conditions change? Take the Russian invasion of Ukraine as an example. If you were to make a prediction on the price of bread just before the invasion, your prediction would be way off. Simply because the conditions that dictated the past are no longer viable. Ukraine exports so much wheat. And once the war broke out, the price of wheat went up. Your prediction didn't see that coming. In this case, the prediction of an average person, or a fortune teller, might be as good as an expert's forecast. Forecasting is simply the prediction of future events. Our first big lesson in forecasting is that when the underlying conditions change, forecasts become less reliable. Predictions are important for humans. As a matter of fact, it is one of the most remarkable things that separates us from other animals. We plan for the future. And how do we plan for the future? We plan by making predictions. Economic, political, and technical experts are always making predictions about the future. But what happens when you want to make a long prediction? A prediction far into the future. For example, in college, if you were to predict how the next semester is going to proceed, you can fairly visualize the courses, the environment, the studying habits, etc. You can easily predict that you are going to be attending a lot of classes, drinking lots of coffee, and spending hours studying. But how about if you were to predict how your life is going to be 5 years from now? That is difficult. In 5 years, you are going to be clueless in regard to what is going to happen. Are you going to be working? What type of job are you going to get? Which city are you going to be working in? You probably have no clue as to the type of environment you are going to be in. Long-term forecasts are much more difficult than short ones. In this case, wild guesses might be just as good as sound predictions. When you are close to the date of prediction, the current system is not all different from the system you are trying to predict. But when the time difference is big as in long-term forecasts, the system in the future might be completely different than the current one. Whatever data you have, from the past, is going to be old. There is no guarantee that the conditions in the past will continue into the future. So lesson number 2 in forecasting. Short-term forecasts are more accurate than long-term ones. Think about the following question. Are you going to be hungry tomorrow? Predicting that you will get hungry tomorrow is almost a sure thing, But predicting what exact time you are going to be hungry at is a whole different matter. Predicting that you will be hungry sometime through the day is a general forecast. Predicting what time you are going to be hungry is a specific forecast. When the psychic predicted that her client will face struggles, this is very general, just like predicting that someone will get hungry the next day. Everyone is going to face struggles at one point in her or his life, but predicting exactly when, how, and why is quite difficult. So lesson number 3. Forecasting the general is easier than forecasting the specific. So start from the general and move as time proceeds to the specific. So forecasting is not going to be exactly right, but it can help, especially in times when things are stable. Focus more on predicting things in the near future, rather than long from now. And start from the general and then move towards the specific. Thanks for watching.